Hi, I'm Robert Goldsmith, and I want to talk to you about what's going on in this country for the last couple of weeks. Now, I know you don't need another voice to talk about the fact that what happened in Minnesota was wrong, that what happened in Atlanta was potentially wrong. I don't have the facts on that, but from what I saw, probably was wrong. I'm not going to talk to you about your First Amendment rights, the ability to and the opportunity to peacefully protest. That's not what I'm talking about. I want to talk to you about what nobody else is talking to you about. And that, folks, is the economics of what has transpired over the last few weeks. Let's talk about the damage that's been done. Let's talk about the buildings that have been burnt, the people that have been killed. Let's talk about the looting that has happened. Now, why am I talking about that? Because, folks, what you may not realize is that has cost the looters, the vandals, and the unruly protesters and those who have chosen to maim and or attack police officers, burn down buildings. It's cost you money. I know you're thinking, wait a minute, maybe you're getting paid to do it. I don't know. I don't have any facts on that. Probably a subject for another day, but I want to talk to you about what has already happened. It's there. It's history. We can't change it. If you've burned down a building, if you've put people out of business, if you've hurt, maimed, or killed other people, you've cost yourself money. Now, I know you're thinking, that's not possible. Well, a good friend of mine by the name of Jeff once said, money makes the world go round. Okay, he didn't say that. He said, love makes the world go round. Money finances the trip. That's right. Think about it from that perspective. Because everything you did has an equal and opposite reaction. So now let's talk about the economics. See, I've heard, unfortunately, people in the political arena endorse some of the vandalism that went on, some of the looting that went on, and condoned it. There have been others that have condemned it, but some that have condoned it. Now, some of you that have actually participated in that, some of it willfully, some of it, well, because everybody else was doing it, so we kind of fell in line. But I want to talk to you about the fact that we all know what has happened. We're all aware, and in fact, I believe President Trump has already signed a bill or an executive order of some sort that is designed to at least take steps in that direction to make some changes. Now, there may not be enough steps for some people. I get it. That's a political story. Again, another arena. But I will say this. As a baby, we start by crawling, then hopefully standing, then walking, and then running, right? Well, whatever we do today is a step in the right direction if we make movements to improve that. Well, what I want to talk to you about, again here, economics. Why? Let's talk about economics right now. You see, some people have said that it's okay to burn the building because the insurance will pay for it. It's okay to steal because the insurance will pay for it. It's okay to vandalize because the insurance will pay for it. Newsflash, wake-up call, insurance doesn't pay for it. Oh, insurance may pay for it initially, but in the end, what do you think happens to the premiums of every other product that insurance company offers? Oh, it goes up. That's right. So if it provided coverage for you in one area of their business, it might find that another area just got affected. Insurance companies, newsflash, in business to make a profit. You're probably aware of that, right? Every company is in business to make a profit so they can pay for their living expenses. That's how the world works. And if insurance companies, some of the largest, richest, wealthiest companies in the world, yes, they are. If they don't make a profit, then they cease to exist. And if they cease to exist, they cannot pay for all of those things that would happen. You know, in 2008, when we had that mortgage meltdown, Washington Mutual went under, banks went under, right? Insurance companies may have bailed them out. In fact, let's be honest. If you say, I'm going to put my money in the bank, it's the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, that insures that money, right? Now, we could talk about that on another day, not the subject. But what I'm trying to get across to you is that when this vandalism occurs and when insurance companies eventually do bail out some of these businesses and do pay for some of the damage that was caused, the next round of insurance premiums will go up. Now, to the small business owner or to even the Targets or the Wendy's, if the cost of doing business goes up, what do you think is going to happen to the prices for the food that you eat, for the over-the-counter drugs that you buy, for the clothes that you buy at Target, for all of those things that you desire, the goods and services that you use? What do you think is going to happen to those prices? Newsflash, they're going to go up. That's right, they're going to rise. That means that if it rises, it's inflation, and you, even the looters, when you have your families and your kids and you talk about what a good thing you did for the country because you helped change the world. No, the peaceful protesters may have helped change the world. But you as a looter, as a vandal, as a person of destruction, you probably cost the world some money. Now look, many of you are young and many of you may not understand the world of economics. In fact, in my 30 plus years in the financial services industry, I can tell you most people have no clue how money really works. Most people are not aware of the fact that everything you do in business, everything you do in life, how you pay for your dinner via credit card or whether you pay cash, right? Or how you financed your home or your car, all of that affects everything else you're able to do. You see, I wrote an article that appeared on the Forbes website that was entitled, Should Your Retirement Crash? Should Your Retirement Crash? Google it. It's an interesting 5-minute read. It's a little bit entertaining as well because that's my nature. But I want you to understand that if you don't understand how money works, then you ultimately end up paying more. How many of you have gone to an accountant and actually found out that you overpaid on your taxes the year before because you didn't make the right decisions, because you thought you knew what you were doing? Do you know how many people think that because they have a 401k at work, or they have a group life insurance policy, or they have group health, that everything's going to be okay and they got a financial plan? That's not a financial plan. In fact, if you got that job terminated because, oh, by the way, the building got burned down, well, you may not have group health insurance. And if you were unhealthy, who's going to pay for that now? And if you can't get life insurance, who's going to pay for that now? Now, I know there's some people think, well, when I'm 65 and I've accumulated money, I don't need life insurance. I'm also going to tell you, different story though, you will never stop paying for insurance. You may not realize that. You may not be paying for it out of pocket, but I guarantee I can prove to you that ultimately you're probably going to be paying for insurance whether you know it or not. And I'm talking about just life insurance. You're probably also paying for health insurance, you just don't know it. You see, what I'm trying to get across to everybody there is that it would be wise if we started to take some interest in the education of how money really works, right? Money really does work. You know, there's an old cliche that says, money talks, right? What if your money could talk? What if your money could tell you what you were doing wrong? What if your money could tell you what you were doing wrong as a consumer? What if your money could tell you about the mistakes that you're making? What if that could happen? If money could talk, that'd be sweet, wouldn't it? Well, that's not the case. Well, so I'm here to tell you that some of the mistakes that you guys have already made have cost you, your kids, your grandkids money. Now, let's talk about not just the inflation that would have been caused by the damage and the cost of doing business, but when you raise the prices of the products that you buy, sales tax goes up. So now you've cost yourself double, don't even realize. Now, let's be honest, if I was running this country, and I'm not, I might eliminate income tax altogether, making everybody happy. But your sales tax, maybe 40 to 50%. Now, you wouldn't like me for that, but here's why. Because there are a lot of people who believe that the wealthy people don't pay enough because there's loopholes and all that good stuff. Imagine if you just got rid of them. And then you just raise the price of sales tax, because you would assume that if you want to pay your fair share, that rich people would buy more expensive homes, higher property tax. Rich people would buy more expensive cars, higher sales tax, higher, automobile tax. If you raise the cost of the tolls, then the use tax goes up. See, you could do that, and that's how you could fund the country. And we do need the taxes because that's how we have fire departments and police departments and the roads and all of those things that we need to govern this country. Which leads me to another subject, defunding the police. Look, I'm not always a fan of the police. I've gotten tickets too. I got my last ticket for going in one direction, coming off a freeway exit, and there was an immediate turn I needed to make, but what I wasn't aware of, and nor could I really see clearly, is that it was a double white line with no traffic coming, that I had no ability to get to that next street without crossing it. Again, wasn't even aware I was crossing it. Yes, there was a police officer in hiding. Yes, they did pull me over. Okay. So what I'm trying to point out is that if it wasn't for the police, however, for the things that we really do need them for, which is to protect and serve under extreme situations, there'd be chaos. The only reason we obey the red light, only reason we obey the laws is probably the fear of the fact that we could end up in prison. And who would put us there? Police. And then who would sentence us? The judge. The entire system is started with laws that we need to obey. Okay. And yes, we have to have better trained police. And I'm going to say, and I'm just taking a particular position here, most of the police are probably good people. In fact, most of my encounters with police have been very polite. The last cop, maybe not so much. But I'm trying to point out that when you consistently burn down, destroy, wreck, burn, I just want you to think about the end result. You know, it's kind of like those people who say college should be free, right? Well, I'm going to ask you a question. Who would pay for it? See, there's a building that has to be constructed. There are utilities that have to be turned on, right? There's teachers that have to show up. Who's going to pay for them? Well, the answer is you'd say the government. Again, where does the government get their money from? Oh, by the way, that would be you, right? So if the end result is if you got 4 years of college for free, you might be paying 40 years for all the people that come behind you. And not everybody belongs in college. Some people belong in trade schools, right? Be it a plumber, and look, I'm not trying to degrade anybody. I'm just simply saying that if you're a plumber, you probably don't need to have a liberal arts degree, right? Or a degree in philosophy. I'm saying that if you're an auto mechanic, you could probably make a very good living without having spent any time in college. Now, maybe a junior college would be good for everybody. I would condone that, right? That junior college would be good for everybody. And then make a decision as to what would happen, right? And junior college isn't that expensive. Now, I know these are off the beaten path. I'm just trying to point out to you that if you guys really think about some of the things that has happened, you've cost yourselves money. And at the end of the day, capitalism, money, that's what this is all about. And in spite of all the challenges that exist in this country, this is still the greatest country in the world, right? People are not trying to squeeze through fences to get into third world countries, to get into socialistic countries, right? People want to get to America. Why? Because it's still, with all of its challenges, the greatest country in the world. And we can either make movements or steps to improve it, keeping costs down, making wise decisions, or we could choose to destroy it. And if it's not what it looks like today, and yes, there's always going to be some variation. I'm not getting into the political arena here. I'm just simply saying, folks, it's time for you to make wise decisions. Okay? It's time to condemn the vandalism, condemn the destruction, condemn the beating up of innocent people. And let's start working on unity. But let's do it in such a way that it doesn't cost us money. And you're right, it doesn't have to cost us money. In fact, my entire career has been about showing people how to avoid overpaying taxes, how to avoid taxes in retirement, how to make smart decisions, how to use money wisely. That's what I've done. And I want to help you make those choices as well by encouraging you to make smart financial decisions. In fact, if you like anything that we've shared, go out to our YouTube channel at financial411.net. Subscribe to that. Let's talk about what your situations are. And believe it or not, you may be surprised how much you can save with just one phone call. Okay, that sounds like an ad. That wasn't my perspective, but I'm here, right? So anyway, I want to thank you for listening. I hope you got something out of this. I hope you realize every action has an equal and opposite reaction. Be wise, make smart decisions. Let's move on and let's grow as a country. Let's not kill it, okay? It is still the greatest country in the world. My name is Robert Goldsmith, and you have a great day.